There's an art to turning into the perfect killer clown. David Howard Thornton spent hours in the makeup chair every single day, going through a very specific process, before he became known as the sicko behind the Terrifier franchise. Writer, director, and editor Damien Leone was just a kid studying behind-the-scenes videos from the Thriller music video, and a documentary about legendary makeup artist Tom Savini. As Leone told Dread Central, those two VHSs were the first time I ever saw makeup artists creating monsters and zombies. He says he watched the behind-the-scenes footage around age 8 and was teaching himself to emulate them by age 12. Decades later, he ended up responsible for the makeup behind one of the creepiest monster designs in recent horror history, Art the Clown. Seemingly immortal, serial-killing clown Art first slashed his way into fans' hearts back in the 2008 short film The Ninth Circle. The first feature-length Terrifier movie wouldn't be released for another 8 years. Actor David Howard Thornton plays Art in the Terrifier films, including the surprise blockbuster sequel Terrifier 2, and in the series' upcoming third installment. Thornton goes through an arduous process each time he sits down in the makeup chair to become the killer clown. He told Smash or Trash that in the early days, the makeup process began in the late afternoon and sometimes took over 4 hours. There's a key reason for this unusually long makeup routine. The face mold has to be redone each and every time Thornton starts the day. Leone explained in an interview with MLive, "We have to take a mold of his face and then I have to sculpt the prosthetic. We have to make a new one every time because when you take it off, it gets destroyed. So that in itself is a process."
And I think we've gotten it down to maybe 2.5 hours if I really push it. Now sometimes it takes over 3.
The process was incredibly involved. A time-lapse video Leone shared on YouTube shows him gluing the rubbery-looking white mask onto Thornton's face, and then building, sculpting, and adding more details to it. Finally, Leone paints the black clown makeup onto Thornton's prosthetics by hand, finishing up with arched eyebrows and a grody pair of fake teeth. Talking about the arduous process, Thornton quipped to Smash or Trash, "I definitely have much more respect in actors like Doug Jones, Ron Perlman, and Robert Englund now that typically go under hours of makeup for their roles. Those fake teeth actually cause some surprising problems on set. For one thing, they make it hard for Thornton to talk. They make him sound like, in his words, a country bumpkin." He added, "The only real drawback to them was that they made me drool a lot, so Leone had to constantly touch up my makeup around my mouth." Even though Art doesn't speak, Thornton finds ways to express himself.
Stop! Please stop! Please!
He told Horror Movies and Beyond that he actually comes up with lines to say in his head to help keep timing in a scene, and they often translate into visible facial expressions for Art, whose face is flexible thanks to the very thin prosthetic material. Look closely at Art's costume and you'll find plenty of interesting details. In Terrifier 2, for example, you can see a hole in one shoe from a stab wound he got in the first film. The actor even admitted to Smash or Trash that they often had to stick Art's hat to his head with duct tape to keep it in place during action scenes. Thornton's young co-star, Amelie McLean, also had to endure an exhaustive makeup process to become his clown girl companion in Terrifier 2. The actor told Pop Culture with Pat that she had to wear special effects contact lenses that covered her entire eye, and needed people to guide her around on set since they impaired her vision so much. McLean's makeup application process was a comparatively speedy 2.5 hours, but it sometimes took up to 3 hours to take it all off afterwards. Luckily, the box office success of Terrifier 2 means that Leone will finally be able to outsource some of his countless on-set jobs for the next sequel. Leone told Slash Film in October, "One of the great things that I can do now is hire a Hollywood makeup team to come in and do all the effects. That allows me to be a better director. That's a lot of pressure off of my shoulders." Fans will be able to see more of Art's iconic look when Terrifier 3 hits theaters on October 25th, 2024.